Stephen Dorrell is the former Health Secretary, former chair of the Health Select Committee, and now chairs the NHS Confederation. Stephen, very good evening.
Good evening.
Is this really the landmark reform that the Prime Minister is making out?
Well, I think what the Prime Minister and Simon Stevens have done today is to set out a clear set of ambitions for the development of the health and care system. There's no radical departure here, but I do think it's important that we set out a set of objectives in order that people who work in the system, whether they're clinicians or managers or whatever the part they play, they can see the contribution that they make to the delivery of a set of objectives that people can buy into and see make sense.
What will we notice in 10 years' time that is so different from now? Because if you're going to put a 10-year plan to the people of this country, we need to understand what will be different in 10 years' time.
Well, I think what you will see in the health service, as we've seen in truth over the whole 70-year history of the health service, is progressive application of the opportunities that modern science offers to improve people's life chances, to improve our ability not simply to treat illness, although that's obviously the core mission, but also to prevent illness, to intervene earlier, to support people leading normal lives. And what you've seen over the last 70 years is people living longer, people have we conquered some of the diseases that previously were thought were inevitably death sentences, and I think that process will continue. As I said, there won't be a radical, blinding flash moment, but the continued application of science and good management to the delivery of better health outcomes for citizens.
No, but my point is that you could have said all of those things that you just said 20 years ago when you were Health Secretary. Surely we need to sort of hear something a little bit new if there's a 10-year plan.
Not only could I have done, I did say all those things
exactly
20 years ago, and of course not all our ambitions have been fulfilled, but we have made a lot of progress over the last 20 years. When you say we need a new set of objectives, actually I stop and think about that, if I may, Ian, because actually most people in this country, they don't think the health service is perfect, but they do think it's trying to do the right thing. And so the worst kind of political intervention, it seems to me, would be one that says we've got a brand new scheme for the NHS, because whether you're working in the health service or relying on it, I think the majority of people think that it's setting out to do roughly the right thing. Of course, it can be improved. And what the Prime Minister and Simon Stevens have done today is to set out a commitment to continued improvement. There are, of course, also some more difficult questions. We can set out the ambition. We've also got to work out where the staff are going to come from to do it, where the money's going to come from to do it. Are the structures that we have today the best way of delivering those ambitions? That's where the difficult questions come, but the ambitions themselves, I don't think, are particularly controversial.
Stephen, thank you very much. That's Stephen Dorrell.